バトブラスターズ
Look, they designed the gun specifically for people who don't know anything about guns, and then made it impossible to understand how to use it.
Yeah. Did you make sure your firing pin is active?
So, we've talked about quite a few guns that made people upset.
That's true.
These are guns that people thought were good.
But they were wrong.
They were wrong-headed in their opinions, but I think it's time we did something that might be a little less divisive.
That's true.
Maybe we'll bring people together.
That's true.
We picked this up on the pawn shop.
That's true. They had it right there at the pawn shop.
It was $100.
And it has the extra barrel.
It has the extra barrel. It's the Phoenix Wright HP22 22LR 10 round 3-inch extra mag in case. That's what it said on the sticker. I was super entertained by these because it's like, when you look at it and you see where it's made and everything, you think of the Ring of Fire guns.
Right.
And it certainly is made like that. And then you try to use it, and it's almost impossible.
It's really hard to figure out.
Yeah. You know, like we say, first impressions. You hold it in your hand, and you're like, hey, for a gun that, you know, these sell for really low money amounts. I don't think YouTube likes it when we say how much they sell for. But you're like, it's actually feels decent in the hand, right? You know, for the price.
Yeah, I mean, it's got heft. It doesn't quite feel like it's made out of cast crap, and in fact, some of it looks like it's even machined, or you know, if it's cast really well.
Mm-hmm.
And some sort of stainless steel going on here. It doesn't feel like it's made out of zinc or high point pop metal or whatever.
Right. So yeah, and it's most assuredly cast, but it's way better than even that FN casting.
Yeah.
They were saying it doesn't smack of Hot Wheels. So that's kind of cool. And then you try to take the mag out.
So you guys go to the cope section. Cope for us real quick. Which button do you think you have to press first in order to take the mag out? Is it that button? Is it that button? Or is it that button? Which of the three? 1, 2, or 3? You leave your 1, 2, 3s in the comments. See if you can count to 3 in the comments for which button you have to press to take the mag out. If you guess 2, you're right. This doesn't do anything. Can't press it. Can't press it. That mag doesn't come out. So what you have to do, pull the slide back, and of course it doesn't have a last round hold open, because why would it? Pull the slide back, engage the safety / slide stop, and then the mag catch button is enabled.
Right.
Why? I don't know. We've had what 100 years or so of auto-loading pistol design where by and large they all function manual of arms wise very close to the same. Sometimes the mag catches at the heel, sometimes it's right there. It's pretty much the only two places you find it on handguns. Mm-hmm. I'm not familiar with a single other firearm where you have to manually lock the slide back and engage a safety in order to drop the mag. That's just sort of a crazy thing. And so you may think, you know, this effectively acts as the only sort of safety system you'd ever need, where, you know, you now can't drop the slide.
Yeah, and pushing this doesn't do anything.
Right, it's locked back completely. So you'd think, you know, this gun's relatively safe. You'd have to put a loaded mag in the gun in order to take it and close it. So, you know, at that point the gun's loaded, chambered, and you're ready to fire, right? Well, they didn't actually think that was safe enough. So you actually have to put your magazine back in it, push down on the safety, let the slide closed, and then you have a secondary safety of sorts here. Now, do you think this safety disconnects the hammer from the trigger?
Oh, well, that would be nice.
That would be great. No, it doesn't. Do you think that this safety stops the hammer from touching the firing pin?
Barely?
I don't know if it does. And it doesn't retract the firing pin. It just sort of acts as a firing pin stop. So you can still click that wouldn't have fired because this stops the firing pin from moving forward.
Right. And then is this one still... But you can... You can put the other, so you can put both safeties on, in which case,
Yeah, so that
Your
safety
hammer
does
won't
lock
drop.
the trigger.
yeah. Well, it doesn't lock the trigger, but it prevents the hammer from moving. So both up and down,
Interesting.
which is just bizarre. But oh, right. There's this like funny dance you have to do with all of the safeties whenever you're messing with this thing. And then there's it comes with a second barrel. And
Of course, this is a dry run. We've never actually taken this thing apart
no,
before.
we've owned this thing for like a couple hours. So how the hell? Well, you know what it says on the mag. We can write the factory for free written instructions on how to use this.
Everybody go in the comment section and write the factory for instructions.
Yeah.
And then post the instructions in the comments. You
Yeah.
all each have to individually request a manual
Okay.
from this defunct company.
So wait, they're not defunct.
Are they really still making these?
I'm pretty sure. In fact, they have them in 25 ACP and other
horrible.
calibers as well.
That's horrible.
Can you Google that real quick? Well, I'd see about this.
That's terrible. They are. It looks like they're still in business. The USBATF said that they're a Ring of Fire gun, and they make Saturday night specials. Evidently, they are made out of Zamac, but that's
Yeah.
like the nicest Zamac I've ever handled.
Yeah, no, it
It's like-
doesn't feel like Zamac.
It's like unreasonably good.
Yeah. Zamac being the pot metal, low melting point material that a lot of Saturday night specials are made of. And of course, if you're the government, you hate this because it means that poor people or even minorities might be able to afford to, have a weapon to protect themselves with, after you have instilled all your government programs to disenfranchise them in every conceivable way. So naturally, the government's going to do their best to prevent products like these from existing.
I'm going with yes, still in business somehow.
I'm going with that too because I see a lot of
It
these.
seems like yes.
But so I got it out. There's this unbelievable spring there.
Is that the action spring?
No, wait, is it? Oh, it is. That you have to. So you're effectively pulling on the back of the action spring as it's cocked.
Wow.
To then loosen a lock on the
Little latch.
Yeah, there. Oh, and this is interesting. Look at the rifling. That's Marlin Micro Groove.
Holy cow. It's like 17 or 18 maybe grooves in this barrel. It's like extremely rifled.
Yeah. And with that longer barrel on it,
It's kind of cool looking.
it's kind of slick.
I like it.
The other thing is the vent rib.
Yeah,
I love that.
that's big.
The vent rib continues from the slide all the way up the barrel. And here's the thing. When we shot this, it was complete dry run. We were expecting it to not work, right?
Man, perfect.
Perfect. But
Ejection was ejection was, of course, I'm not a picky ejection guy, right? As long as it gets out of the gun, it got out of the gun. But it was throwing some ejected casings back towards the shooter, and it was like some would go to the left, some would go to the right, some would go up. Like it gets them out, but like not even a consistent side of the gun, which
Yeah.
is kind of funny, unnerving to some extent.
weren't we just with the longer barrel on, it's much grittier.
Maybe the camera will pick that up. Every time you slam the bolt, a poof comes out of that barrel. You see it?
Yeah, there's rust in there.
That's good.
Yeah, it's really crunchy. It smells bad. But
Maybe it's a cigarette smoker's gun. I'm not getting any. It does not smell like cigarettes. Oh no, it's like hyper rusted. It's turbo rusted.
yeah, which
Inside,
is odd.
inside of it's brown. That's okay. Zamac does.
That's a sleeve.
I see.
Yeah,
That's
there's a steel sleeve with the Zamac cum, whatever it's made of. But all that said, just so we like the way it's shot. It's definitely charming.
That's manual of arms is like a liability.
It's manual of arms.
I don't know. So I don't know who the market is here, right? It's not like this is a particular. I mean, ostensibly it's a safety-oriented gun, but the way in which this gun is safe is it'd only be possible that gun is more safe than a normal gun in the hands of somebody who has no training whatsoever with the gun.
Yeah, and then when they move to another gun,
right,
it
it
becomes
become a liability.
yeah. Because with this amount of little safeties, you're basically spoon training people to just be able to ham
Right.
fuck the trigger at all times, right? Oh, now it's like deadlocked. That's great. Well, it's gonna have the long barrel in it permanently.
That's kind of how I prefer, I think.
Yeah. But yeah, the manual of arms is just because think about the muscle memory. God forbid. And that's the thing is, I've always been an ardent defender of Saturday special guns because, especially in the civil rights era, one of the mechanisms that pro-gun control people at the time, which weren't likely of the political party you now expect them to be, they would aggressively just try to make it more expensive for people to get guns. And so a lot of these European self-loading 25 automatic pistols and 22s as well would come in and just make a defensive option conceivable for working class people. And so much of modern gun control has just been a concentrated attempt to get rid of the affordable firearm.
Yep.
And so I love affordable firearms. But God forbid this is the one that you could afford, right? I mean, again, we wandered into a pawn shop and I was like, oh, I know what that is. And I walked out with it for under $100 after a little hagglation. But there's your manual of arms, right? So assuming you'd keep it loaded, click you're empty, right? So that's click you're empty. Oh. And then make sure your firing pin is turned on still. Because then as you're handling the top of the slide too,
you're liable to engage the safety.
And I wasn't doing it intentionally. I was just pulling back and I engaged the firing pin block. It's really easy to do that, just going over the top. So you've got to kind of like come at it with an AR-esque, daintiness. It's certainly a bad gun.
That said,
I like it a lot.
I like it. And I think the reason I like it is because, yeah, it's a bad gun, but it's a bad gun where it only costs you like $200 to learn that lesson.
Right. Oh, so you can put it on safe.
Interesting.
Which we couldn't do with the short barrel in.
Yeah, because I thought we tried that.
We did. It may have been broken.
That's possible.
But now, if you put it on safe, you can take the mag out, even with the slide.
Of course, it's still the first button. Like the first button you press to get the mag out of your gun. What is it?
Safety. Safety. Got it. What's going on with it? Oh, look at the extractor.
Yeah.
It just flies out of the gun when it closes.
Yep. Just pushes it right off to the side.
I guess because it's direct flowback, you don't need your extractor to like actually be an extractor.
Right.
It can just be a funny toy.
Look, they designed the gun specifically for people who don't know anything about guns, and then made it impossible to understand how to use it.
No. Did you make sure your firing pin is active? Is there a red dot on the left?
On the left. There's a red dot.
Yeah. All right.
Well, that's okay. That's this world's safest handgun. It's got like 50 of them. Are we out? We're out.
I mean, it did work.
It did work. That's true.
It shoots. It feels only slightly more awful than a $200 22.
It's not as bad as a $200 Phoenix because it's a $100 Phoenix. But it's really not good.
It unquestionably feels cast.
Like there's a way that every auto-loading handgun, like since ever, has worked manual of arms wise. They're all almost identical. And this thing's like, you know what's wrong with those? It doesn't take 15 steps to make your gun ready to fire. And then because you can't take the mag out until you put the thing back and manually lock it open. And if you're left-handed, you're just fucked. Because with some left-handed slide hold opens, you can still get them with your trigger finger. With this, you can't. Then you can get the mag out, Then it's got this extra special double safety. And then you can't get it to shut unless there's a mag in it. It's terrible. It's actually wretched.
Alright, so we got it locked open on safe. Put in the mag. Turn off the safety. That closes the slide. And then we make sure we unblock our firing pin. And then it doesn't lock open. It doesn't lock open. You have to use the...
Half of the ejections were that way and then half were this way. It's just either side, whatever works.
Yeah. And you have to lock it open or the mag doesn't come out.
It's incredible.
That's great.
Phoenix Arms, HP22. Bad guns,
It's a bad gun, but
totally worth the price.
it's redeemable.
Totally worth the price.
It's worth the price of admission.
Yeah, it's 100% like. And I think this is what we're talking about. This is the type of gun that like you enjoy for a while, and then you like give it to a friend. You know, you just like
It's your buddy loaner gun.
yeah, you're just like
It's like, dude, you want that back? No.
no, you have to give
You
it to
can
somebody.
you
yeah.
can hang on. It's the traveling gun.
Yeah.
The Brotherhood of the Traveling Phoenix Arms Ace Attorney.
God. Funny. All right, guys. Take care.